All right, so this is going to be the prep work. It's not going to be due until Sunday, but hey, if you get it done, I'll enter the grades in, but it's not due till Sunday. So let's take a look at this, right? We are trying to partition a segment. You have C here, which is -1,7, and P, which is 8,10, right? And they want it to be partitioned in a ratio of 2:1. All right, so let's take a look at this. First, I already drew the line, and then I'm going to drop the triangle like this, okay? So always create a right triangle. Yeah, always create a right triangle so that you can clearly see, so that you should be able to count, okay? So that's the first step. Second step is you need to figure out what the ratio is, okay? So they want it into a ratio of 2:1. And actually, before we get to that, let's take a look at this. Let's see what we're working with. To get from 7 to 10, that's 3 spaces, right? And to get from -1 to 8, that's 9 spaces. Just keep that in mind, right? Keep that in the back of your mind. Well, if something's in a ratio of 2:1, that's actually going to give you 3 spaces. We can actually multiply this, right? If I multiply this by 2, that's going to be 4 to 2. And so that's giving me 6 spaces to work with. And if I multiply this by 3, that's going to give me 6/3. And 6/3 gets me 9 spaces, right? And so from here, you can already tell, oh yeah, since I only have 3 and 9, these are the actual ratios that I'm dealing with, right? So let's take a look at this. From here, right, from this top corner point P, you can either move it down by 2, 1, 2, right, and then draw a line there, okay? And then that's 1. And then from this corner, you can move it over by 6, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know you're correct because you know that this point extends over here and this point extends over here to put this point, bam, okay? That's one way to partition it. But wait, we're not done yet. We have another method, which is that we can, instead of going down by 2 and then you know that it's 2:1, you could go down by 1 so that you know that it's going to be, it could be 1:2, right? So I went down by 1. That's something. That means that it's going to be going here. And if I moved over from this corner 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and I mark this off, I'm able to search for all 3 points, which means it's this is another place that I can partition, right? So the 2 points that I'm looking at, this first point is going to be 2,8, right? And the second point that possibly partitions this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. So what's the correct answer? Well, it's asking you determine and state the coordinates such that CY, right, is 2 and YP is 1. All right. So if you had to choose which one, the first coordinate in which we found to be able to partition this is 2,8, and the second coordinate was 5,9. Right. It's really up to you to actually figure out what the correct answer to this question is, because one of the coordinates, it's either going to be this or this that actually makes it in a ratio, like pretend this is C and this is P. It's either going to be something like this. What type of ratio is that? Versus, you know, imagine this was C and P, something like this. Okay, so it's your job to pick which coordinate.